Hello everybody, here I am Grishma Bobby, pursuing my final year biomedical engineering from Sahridaya College of Engineering and Technology, Kodagara. I am supporting as a team leader of Group 6 Biomed 360 dealing with medical ventilated equipment. We are here to present our mentor session with Ms. Kokila Kannan, who is currently working as the analyst for medical devices at HCL Technologies, Chennai. She also has an experience working as the biomedical engineer in Anantapuri Hospital, Trivandrum for a period of about 2.5 years. So let's begin with the session.
And I am Grishma Bobby, team leader of Group 6 Biomed 360 Medical Equipment Campaign. Biomed 360 is an initiative for unleashing the biomedical equipment in a way that it reaches the people by professional collaboration. And our group has started the campaign with the very important critical side medical equipment ventilator. As the first phase of the campaign, we are with an interview session with our special guest, who is none other than our mentor, Ms. Kokila Kannan, to make our evening more lively. Ms. Kokila Kannan is an engineering graduate with a bachelor's degree in electronics and biomedical engineering and is currently working as biomedical engineer at Anantapuri Hospital and Research Institute, Thiruvananthapuram. Within a short duration of her work experience, she acquired a sound knowledge about ventilator machines. As a mentor, she has been supporting us with great dedication and interest. She was with us as a helping hand throughout, and it gives me the utmost pleasure to welcome Ms. Kokila ma'am on behalf of Biomed 360. Welcome ma'am. Let's begin the first phase of our interview session. Ma'am, we would like to know some experiences of yours as a biomedical engineer. So let me begin with the first question. Would you like to share with us the reason behind choosing biomedical engineering as a career and the experiences you gained from this field?
Biomedical engineering, I come from a healthcare background where majority of my family is working for the healthcare. So one option was to become a doctor, but unfortunately I couldn't pursue the same. So then the next option before me was biomedical engineering. When I started my biomedical engineering in 2014, it was not a very well-established course because in Kerala we had only in 2 to 3 colleges where we had biomedical engineering, and it's always I had this enthusiasm to work or study a new branch of engineering, and I was always excited to know what it is. So when I asked first time when I asked the principal of our college what this is actually, he told me that it's a blend of engineering and medicine. And so after gaining experience and all, what I feel is that doctors treat patients, and for a biomedical engineer, the biomedical equipments are a patient. But I think it is one of the underrated fields people consider, but it is one of the very, very critical and most needed engineering field, and more emphasis must be given to this field. Because when you go to a hospital and you're always surrounded by a lot of equipment. See, if you're admitted in a hospital, you may be connected with a simple infusion pump or a syringe pump, which is so the patient must have that working properly. The proper working of the machine is very important. So any small mistake or a malfunction of that, imagine people or imagine us going to the hospital and connected to a syringe pump, and if it's not working properly, we'll always be disappointed. And at the time, a biomedical engineering is needed. So from small cases like that to large equipments like CT, MRI, and all those equipments, biomedical engineers are needed. They're working 24/7 round the clock for making up and managing all the equipments in a hospital. But still, it is underrated. I hope in the coming
people will understand the importance of this engineering field, and even the upcoming student generations will get more opportunities. Because I think, but it's improving. It's in a very slow pace of improving, because NABH accreditations, they have made it mandatory that all hospitals must have a biomedical department. So I think it's been a protocol that every hospital must have a biomedical department, and some of the well-established multi-specialty hospitals have a full-fledged working biomedical wing. I think in the coming years, the situation will get better, and we could hope for that future. And so I think I answered the question, like how I took this career. So coming from a healthcare background, I chose this career to be in that field, and that's how I came into this field.
Now we would like to know that the factors that helped you to explore about the ventilator equipment and your experiences on ventilator.
So ventilator, to speak about ventilator, it is one of the most critical equipments a biomedical engineer can deal with. I was when I started my career in a hospital, I was always afraid to deal with this equipment because very, very critically ill patients or patients who really need support will be connected to the ventilator. Any small mistake or any small problem from the biomedical engineers or machine side will create a big impact on the patient. So this was an equipment I always was scared of to go to. And there was a senior who was dealing with taking classes for the nursing staff in a hospital to give training to. A lot of trainings have to be given to the working staff who are dealing with the ventilator, because there is immense chances. See, if a patient is connected to a ventilator and if the cassettes are not properly or no proper disinfection is done, who does not have any chances of getting exposed, if connected to this ventilator, will ease pneumonia inside him. Not only pneumonia, there are a lot of other diseases. So every time in a, what principle in a hospital is that proper training is given in regular intervals to every staff who are dealing with ventilator equipment. So then this senior
That's quite exciting.
and then I was in charge of giving training to, so I was given the opportunity to train the nursing staff, and I had no other option rather than studying it and dealing with it. So by like the equipment, I learned a lot of things. So once you have to teach someone, you have to be have very good knowledge about the equipment. So that is how I got to deal with ventilators, and only that experience gave me confidence to handle children like you.
That's quite inspirational, ma'am. And every job has an responsibility and duties associated with it. As a biomedical engineer, what are the duties and responsibilities you have to take up?
So as a biomedical engineer, generally in hospitals, we have to take care of all the equipments over there. The properly timely calibration has to be done, and a proper maintenance has to be done. So no biomedical engineer will want their equipment to fail or malfunction. And so what we do is that before it gets malfunction, proper time preventive maintenance is being done. So what we do is that we have a schedule, we have a chart for 1 year of all the equipments in a hospital. A proper preventive maintenance schedule is there. And what we do preventive maintenance, everything is working properly. So say in a ventilator, we check that if it's working properly, if the wheels of the ventilators are moving properly, if the gas inlet ports are working properly, and everything is checked in advance so that it doesn't completely malfunction. So during this preventive maintenance, if anything is being noted, we'll correct it then and there, so that when the patient is being connected to this equipment, it does not malfunction. So that is one part of work. Then regular calibration is done once in a year for all the equipment. Then while the patient is being connected to the equipment, if any malfunction or anything, if any breakdown happens, we go there, we rectify it. That is also a part of our job. Then the documentation work of all the equipment. So if any there are CMCs and AMCs of equipment. So if any service person comes and does some rectification, reports are being done, and these are all being filed up. And we maintain the documents of all these equipment. So that is what roughly the things we do in hospital field.
Some jobs may demand working only for a schedule, while others may demand working in odd hours. What about a biomedical engineer as a job? Does it demand odd hours?
So since my domain has been in a hospital, I've been working 24/7 round the clock because we have day shifts, we have night shifts also. So from my experience, we have to work around the clock. The situation may vary from domain to domain. So if you're working in an R&D or a manufacturing unit, you'll have a scheduled office time. But in hospitals, because every hour the patient is being connected, we work round the clock, and we can't deny working from 24/7 times because it's critical, because we're dealing with patients, it's not machines. The machines are being connected to patients, and when it comes to saving lives, we don't want to take a chance. And so yeah, I always work 24/7 in the hospital domain. It is not very hectic. Actually, I find it nice, and when we solve a problem, or when we deal with the equipment, and if we could help someone who is sick, actually we get a feeling of content. Being able to help a sick person is really good. Sometimes their bystanders come and ask us about the equipment, and then when we could do something, our job is almost equivalent to what the doctors do, because doctors prescribe a machine and those machines are being handled by us. So there is a self-satisfaction you get at some situations when you handle those, and I always find it more encouraging. And so all these hectic hours, odd hours is not an issue in front of all those things.
So this clearly shows that biomedical engineering is a respectful job. Thank you, ma'am. There may be so much of,
obviously,
and there may be so much of experiences you get each day working in a hospital. Some days may go normal, while other days can be stressful. Can you share with us about such difficulties that you may have encountered while working on a ventilator?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, this is one very critical equipment, and some days are really leisurely because we don't have to, there will be no breakdown calls. All we have to do is do the regular PM and documentation work. Nothing stressful will be there. Whereas some days it will be like, we'll feel so tiring, we'll feel so stressed. To describe one, I had a night shift like the last month, and a patient was met with a road accident, and he was connected with a ventilator, and suddenly it started malfunctioning. The sensor in it was not working, and it was showing an error code. And it was in the corona isolation ward, because patients are first at the corona ward, and then after tested negative, they are shifted to the other ward. So I had to go there, and there were other ventilators also. Nothing was working there because everything was showing a malfunctioning error. And I lost complete control because I was seeing a patient suffering, and I wanted to do something I had to do. So that pressure in us, if it's a monitor also, it does not matter, because even if a monitor does not work for some time, the patient wouldn't die. But it's not the case with the ventilator. If a ventilator is not working properly, it is very harmful for the life of the patient. It could even take the life of the patient. So there was so much stress on me, and then I had to go and rectify it, call the person and rectify it. So those are some stressful things, that moment, you have to face that pressure to save the person, as well as look what is wrong with the equipment. So another thing I would say is that the cath lab, they were doing the angiogram procedure, and then the ventilator, the O2 cell is not sensing. It suddenly started to malfunction, and then everyone was there. The procedure is going on. The patient is being connected, and I was called up. It was in my night shift. So night shifts, we are all alone. There will be only one biomedical engineer attending all the calls. And then I knew that nothing could be done because we have to order a new O2 cell and replace it. So it was the expiry time was still there, but it suddenly got malfunction. And the doctors were all like blaming that the equipment is not working. See, what happens with the O2 cell is that if it does not work, nothing wrong will happen to the patient, but the amount of oxygen concentration will not be sent. So even if you keep it at the concentration 100, the equipment may show 40% concentration. So the doctors were still keeping on complaining the equipment is not working, the equipment is not working. And it was my responsibility to make them understand that situation is not bad. And then sometimes the doctors may not hear us, they may not wait to hear our opinion. So all these things happen. These are some stressful things, because since this is a very critical equipment, there is a lot of pressure in us to make sure this is working properly.
Okay, ma'am. So this clearly depicts how passionate a biomedical engineer needs to be in his profession.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy with your career as a biomedical engineer, and have you ever been overloaded with work or stress?
I'm totally happy with my career. I never regret for taking up this career. A small concern in me is that this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is an underrated field. People should know the importance of a biomedical engineer. That is what all I have to tell people, because we do a lot of things which are important for people. See, our need is not 24/7. Every time it's not necessary, equipment will malfunction. So we are not needed round the clock, but when it is malfunctioning, a biomedical engineer is needed. And I think some more importance must be given to this field, and we must get some motivation in this field. So except the pay scales, the starting scales of our biomedical engineers are very low, but apart from the pay, salary and everything, once you work in this field, you know, as I told earlier, the satisfaction you get when you solve a malfunctioning equipment, or when you help a patient with some equipment, you know, that is something really, really nice. That feeling is very nice, and still I don't regret taking my career as a biomedical engineer. And it's not stressful. As I told earlier, it's not a stressful job. I mean, in the hospital sector, some days are really free. Sometimes we'll have to face these difficult situations, but then it passes on. A career cannot always be so nice and leisurely. So sometimes we are made to face stressful situations, but then it's okay. We can handle it. But the satisfaction and the happiness I get, I personally get, is really good. And I always, I think it's the best decision I chose to do a biomedical engineering as a career.
And that's still so much inspirational, ma'am. The ventilator has gained more popularity during COVID days. Would you like explaining the basic working of a ventilator and why it is a critical equipment?
So the COVID, in majority of the cases, it affects the lung functioning of person. So that is why the critical COVID patients, they need oxygen support. So that is the time when ventilator is being taken into role. So what actually a ventilator is? It is a artificial breathing equipment. So we normal human beings, we automatically breathe. It's a normal thing we do. We don't pay much attention to it. But when a patient is ill, or if his breath is not working properly, the breathing action does not happen properly. So in these situations, a ventilator has to be connected. And in some situations, like severe pneumonia in the lungs, or severe breathing difficulties, some kind of support has to be given to the patient to help or ease the breathing process. So in all such situations, there are different types of ventilating methods which are being used. So how a ventilator works is that a ventilator will have air and oxygen inlet which will be connected, and it will also have an inspiratory and expiratory port. So inspiratory port is that side from where the air and oxygen will be delivered to the patient at a set pressure and a set volume will be given. So those all things will be set by the clinical person, and it will be delivered to the patient, and expired gas from a patient's body will come out to the expiratory side, and it will come out into the atmosphere or the room air. So this is the basic principle of a ventilator. So the settings changes from person to person depending on his medical condition. So for some patients, there is small breathing difficulty. There will be some positive pressure which is given to the patient so that the breathing process could be eased up. And in some situations, the patient will be totally unconscious. His body will not breathe at all. For those patients, we have to completely make the breathing. So this equipment completely makes the breathing process. Both the inspiration and expiration will be done by the ventilator. And in due course, the patient gets better. He will start to breathe, and that patient will be decreased. It cannot be suddenly increased or decreased. In due course only, it will be the support is reduced. So that is how a ventilator works. And there are a lot of things. The expiratory side, as I told earlier, it could easily get infections because the expiration's body is directly pulled out into the expiratory gases and it's given out in the air. So there are a lot of chances to spread from a ventilator. A patient once connected to a ventilator and without proper disinfection, if it's connected to other person, he may also get the same infection. There will be zero chances for the other person to get that infection, but since it's being connected in the ventilator without being disinfected, he also is prone to getting that infection. So so we have to be the equipment with utmost care, or else there are a lot of infections could spread from these. And since see, without breathing, a person can't survive. We could survive without water to some extent. Imagine surviving without eating like for 5 minutes, a patient would die. So what a ventilator does is giving the breathing for patients who cannot breathe. So that itself defines how critical the equipment is. So if a person cannot breathe, he'll ultimately die. So what ventilator does is that support in breathing or completely provide breathing to a patient. So that's how it becomes a critical patient. I think it's being clear, or if you need some clarifications, I can do it.
Ma'am, I think this section would definitely help the normal man to understand or build up the basic concept of ventilator. Finally, we would like you to brief about Biomed 360 campaign and experiences and benefits we acquired.
Okay, Biomed 360 is something which I never thought I would get such an opportunity. First of all, Aminat, who was a mentor in the East. So we are me to GB, and they were looking for a person who would teach ventilators. So since I am dealing with ventilators with the nurses and all, I had this confidence, and then I took up the role. And I was given with some amazing students, who are really passionate to learn new things. And each time I talk to those students, I feel like I have to give the maximum. I have to give more input to them. And what I had in mind was that at the end of the session, or at the end of Biomedical 360, my children, they have to know what ventilator is, and whichever field they pursue, they should have a clear idea about this equipment they learned during the college days. And after each session, I'll be like learning new things, because when I end every session, I'll be like, what new can I teach them? What new can I give into their knowledge so that they can add more to the video? and the students were also amazing. Like everything is done on time, and just because they had the same enthusiasm, I also had this enthusiasm to do it and learn new things so that I can teach them. A lot of browsing has been done, and daily, whenever we had a meeting, we learned new things, we discussed new things, and everything is done in a teamwork. It was such an amazing team, I would say. I just loved my team, and I thank Biomed 360 and IEEE for giving me an opportunity to interact with such nice students. I could even after passing out, I could still feel that vibe of the college students. It's so nice, and I thank all the students also who stood by me during this tenure. When whatever work is done, whatever work is set or planned, it will be done on time. That's the best thing I liked about the team, and it was great and great pleasure to work with all these people. So it's obviously something I would this memory I would always etch in my life, because it was working as a mentor to college students is something I always dream, and that's all.
We are very happy to hear it from you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I would like to express my sincere gratitude and happiness to you for sharing such interesting experiences and valuable information and spending your valuable time with us. Now we are coming to the conclusion ceremony. Last but not the least, we thank you on behalf of Biomed and wish you all success in your journey ahead.
Thank you, Grishma. And I think we had an amazing journey, and I wish all of you also the same thing and nice career. Thank you. Thank you for the evening.
Thank you, ma'am.